In this section, I will start by setting up a sales database, which we will use to store the results of our analysis into predefined tables, which we will create during our analysis. Think of a database as being similar to a team folder on a network drive. A team folder typically serves two purposes. One, it identifies where team members should store their work, and two, it allows an administrator to grant specific user access, such as read, write, and delete privileges. To create a database, you will need administrator rights, or if you don't have such privileges, then you will need to contact your database administration team requesting a new database, with details such as the database name, the purpose of the database, and a list of users and their privileges for access to the database. Or, if a database already exists, which is the likely case unless you are a new team, then you will need to request access to the database you wish to use for your project, and given privileges that you require, such as read, write, and delete access. Such a request will then be reviewed by the database administrator, who in most cases is likely to be an analyst on the team you are working for. The database will store the results of our analysis into customized tables, which we will create during our analysis. Typically, for most large organizations, each team or department will have their own database. As noted earlier, the term database is synonymous with the term schema, and you may also hear other terms such as data mart and vert, where the term mart is an abbreviation for market, representing a similar idea to that of a local shopping mart or store within our data warehouse. Vert is an abbreviation for vertical. Example, sales vertical, financial vertical, or marketing vertical. In addition, you may find some databases with specific project names. For example, if the project is going to last at least a year, have hundreds of tables created during its time for analysis, and the project needs to grant access to a specific set of bespoke users that have been brought together for this project from across many teams. For example, think new product development or regulatory audits that are very sensitive to a business. Then you may find that the database has been given a specific project name. For now, I will assume that we don't have any database for the sales team, and we'll go ahead in our live coding example and set up the database called sales. First, we define our requirement in the header, and below you can see I've also detailed the steps that I will need to follow for our project. So let's go ahead and set up our sales database. I will issue the command create database sales. And if you can't remember the syntax for any function in MySQL, you can open up the secondary panel and highlight the keyword to show you the definition or syntax of how to execute that term. So I'll go ahead and run the command, and in the top left hand corner, if I refresh the list of schemas or databases, we can now see that the sales database has appeared. I will go ahead now and issue the command use sales so we can connect to our database. And you can now see that the database is highlighted in bold, showing that we have accessed the database. In addition, we can also drop a database if so required. And this may be the case if we want to rename our database, as we don't actually have a function called rename database. So we can issue the command drop database to drop our sales database, and we may want to set that up with a different name. For now, we will keep with the name sales for our project. So that's it for creating the sales database. And in the next few sections, we will start performing our analysis and create the required tables to store our results of our analysis. That's all for this section, and I'll see you in the next section.